Hello everyone, welcome to this live stream. Now this is probably my first live on my page since UK, or at least England. I think UK, yeah. We did go lockdown as a whole nation. Went into lockdown and it has been a while. So this is my first live doing a live during lockdown. So exciting now because obviously things changed so fast. Everything was, we all know, right? You know, it was literally an announcement, you know, kids are not going to go to school anymore. So I literally just took the 2 weeks off. I had to physically heal as well. Getting some cold type symptoms happening. It was pretty heavy this time round, and I've never had it as intense in years. So I'm guessing there's a huge breakthrough that's happening soon. And it gave me time to really get to know my two girls again in more depth than I ever actually did. So one of my friends posted this question, if you like, some advice around, you know, how can she get her, I think he's 7 years old or 8 years old, 7 I think, and how can she stop him from coming in her room wanting to have a cuddle that night. And you know, he's got his own room, but obviously she's having to wake up, and you know, if she's not a great sleeper, resume her sleep, then she's obviously exhausted during the day. And I wanted to share my own experience about this and how I dealt with it. So my little girl, who's about almost 7, she has been doing this from got a good maybe 3 years, where she would, if it's really windy outside, if it's storm, I mean, we've had in the UK, we've had loads of storm in the last several months. You know, they've just kept on changing names, and she was, you know, she doesn't like the noise. She's always generally sensitive to noise anyway, and it doesn't like noise. So every night there would be a storm, which was pretty much almost every night for some time this year. She would come into the room in the middle of the night. She would really get upset by it. And I would have so much resistance to that type of behaviour of hers, because, you know, she's got her own room, I've got my room, and obviously we would get disturbed in sleep, and it became so like often that she started just sleeping in our room, and sometimes in our bed, which was very uncomfortable to do because she's a big girl. And just because it was easy, I fell into that trap of, yeah, just let her sleep, and then it just became almost like every day, and then the behaviours would start that, no, I don't want to go, even though there was no storm happening that night, she would still want to sleep in our room. So I could start to build this anxiety, actually, or shall I say these negative emotions, resentment, maybe resistance, that it's bedtime and I'm going to have another carry on with her, and where she's going to just not want to go to her own room, and it's just easier to let her be in our own room. But it wasn't healthy, it wasn't how we wanted it to be. So, you know, I had to figure out how do I get her to go back into her room and be happy with her staying in her room, at least on the nights where there was no storm happening, okay? So the same process that I did is what I'm going to share with you. And this is if you're not even a coach, you haven't done any type of coaching or healing, you can definitely use these strategies, which is why I'm doing it in a live video for your child. And more, like I said, I took the time off, first 2 weeks off when we went into lockdown, and really took the first week off. I had no coaching calls that week. Second week I started to have coaching calls with clients, but I still had a lot of time to get to study my girls, right? Get to know their love languages, get to know just everything about them all over again, almost, because they're growing and they're changing, and I need to keep up with that. So my battery's dying. Hopefully it won't go before I finish. So these are the few things you're going to have to look into that I neglected, which is why my daughter went on for a lot longer and then she needed to with this behaviour. So I resisted a lot. You know, I was not being flexible with her as a child. Like, again, I was studying a lot of child behaviours over the last sort of 2 to 3 weeks because I had the time to do that. And children typically, and we all know this, but somehow it just doesn't come in when you're the one that's having to be the flexible one. Children are not as flexible. typically it's all about me. Make sure I am fed, make sure I am clean. You know, you're the mum, you're the adult, you're going to have to be flexible, right? And that is ongoing, and that will not stop until they, you know, maybe hit the next stage of their life, which is usually by 10 or 11 type years of age. It varies with everybody, but younger children up till maybe 7 or 8 years of age will not be as flexible. If they have fears, if they have heavy emotions, they will not be as flexible, and they are going to look at the adult to be the flexible one. Okay, now this is what I learned from one of my friends. She's amazing. She's a home education facilitator, and she does coach parents as well. You can definitely check her out. I'll leave her full name at the end of the video. So, excuse me, is that she needed me. Like, she actually opened her vulnerability, and I was not honouring that. She was authentically saying, "Mummy, I hate this storm. It's so loud and noisy. I don't want to sleep on my bed. I want to come to yours." And there's me trying to say, "Oh no, you're 7, almost 7. You should be in your room." So I was putting this should on top of her without going deep into her needs. And, you know, saying, hey, okay, she has got a problem. I need to be flexible. I should not be putting this generic thing on top of her where she shouldn't be doing this. She's 7 years old, right? Almost 7. So then this is where the breakthrough really happened, and I'll share exactly what's happened since then, because she's almost stopped doing this. Is I really went into her. I goes, okay, what is the real problem? Now she's 6, almost 7. She hasn't told me anything else other than that she's just scared of the wind. It makes her scared, and just her openly telling me that must have given her so much ease. Because after that, I said, okay, well, you know, Mummy needs to sleep, okay, and we need space. And by you coming into our room every single night, it's not going to work. And then we started to just talk through this, and we create a plan whereby she can come in when she's feeling really uncomfortable with the winds, the strong winds, and that she will be responsible to obviously just bring her blanket, and I will already have a sort of like a floor mattress ready for her. She doesn't always know this, but that's what I said to her, because I didn't want to like trigger her to come every night. So when I knew it was really windy, I would put this mattress down. She would bring her pillow and her blanket, and just sleep there, and she was comfortable. So that way, okay, this is something we had. This was just a personal thing that we did. Okay, that way I didn't have to get up and speak to her in the middle of the night. You know, I didn't even wake up most of the nights. She just did it herself, right? And she was happy with that as well. So getting that flexibility action plan that you need to do after you figure out why she was scared, or why is your child not sleeping in their own room or being independent. What is the real reason behind it? What negative emotion is stopping them from being flexible? Well, children are not that flexible anyway, but why are they not taking on this new strategy that you're teaching them? So I had to test Umayza on this, the little one. Like, is she really, would she listen to me otherwise? Would she be flexible? So at one point yesterday, before I did this video, I thought this will be a good thing to talk about, is that she was talking really loud when I was praying, and I said to her, okay, you need to, after I prayed and took a break before I did the next one, I said, you need to stop talking and let me pray, because you distracted me, right? And she didn't. And then when I was ready to do my next one, I said, you need to leave this room because you're not listening to Mummy. You're still being loud. If you want to be loud, you can go downstairs and do your game or whatever you're doing downstairs, so I don't need to hear it and get distracted. She did that. Okay, so she is flexible. So just to check in on that a little bit, she will use different strategies, because at that time the emotion is not negative. Yeah, it's not stopping her from using this new strategy that I'm teaching her. At night, when she won't sleep in her own room and she's scared of this storm, the thing that's stopping her from listening to me, which was, I was just trying to drill in this new thing, hey, stay in your room, you're nearly 7, you shouldn't be coming out, is that acknowledge the negative emotion that she's feeling around her being in her own room when it's storming or strong winds, And then get a flexible plan where she's winning and you are as well as a parent, whatever that is. Okay, that is something we all can do. You don't need to be a coach for that. And then ultimately ensure your child is being protected in their vulnerable state. Okay, that's why they come to us. Okay, and it's like basic stuff, but I completely did not even acknowledge this. Is that we've got to honour their vulnerability. They are showing their vulnerability because they know they'll be protected and they'll be safe around us. And that is huge, and I'm so glad this opening came to me, because I had completely had this thing about her being a certain age and she shouldn't be coming to my room. So the title where I said I was trying to stop her from coming to the room, I didn't even go into why she was doing it in the first place. And what could we do where she still feels protected during her vulnerability. And when I honoured her vulnerability, her behaviours went really down. I mean, I think the last time she slept in our room was maybe 2 weeks ago. I mean, this has gone down from coming into our room maybe 5 days a week, 4 days a week, right? And yesterday, there was strong winds again. She didn't even come. She was pretty brave, she just, just carried on. She stayed in her own room. Although I did prepare, she could come. So during the day, what I've done the last sort of 2 weeks, because this is the first time it's happened, there was still strong winds in the night, where she would still come to our room, is I showed her more of her love languages. Now, she's a bit of everything. She loves the cuddles, she loves getting praised, she loves me spending time with her. Those are the three main ones, until I figure out her primary one. I think it's cuddles, but I don't know. I showed her more of her love languages during the day. So she always feels empowered. So that if she does feel that negative emotion at night, slightly even, it'll probably bounce off her. It won't come to her, because children are looking at us, the parents, to fill up their emotional glass. Okay, now my eldest is 11. And by the time she's 14, 15, I'm going to teach her to fill her own glass up. But for now, she's looking at me, and the younger one's looking at me, to fill up her emotional glass, so that they can feel more empowered during the times where they feel a little bit more vulnerable than normal. So show them or give them more of their love languages during the day. You'll see that whatever they were needing at night is already they're getting most of that during the day anyway. Okay, because obviously there's the comfort that they're looking for, and the behaviours are lessened massively. Really check in on why they're doing it, and what other strategy can you do so that they're winning, or they're getting some comfort, whether that's, I don't know, whatever that is, and you're winning as well, where you're getting your sleep. Because if you're exhausted as a mum, then you're not going to be able to give them the best during the day as well, because you need that, you need to fill up your cup as well. So just a quick summary: find the reason why they're doing what they're doing, why they're not sleeping in their own room, what is the real problem, what emotion is negative and it's active in their body. Talk it through, because that will release it as well. Create a plan where both of you can be flexible. You would be more, as a parent, would need to be more flexible in this situation. We did have to buy a mattress. Again, every child's going to need something different. Whatever your child needs, where they feel safe and protected during their time of vulnerability. I could do coaching with her, but not every parent is a coach. So really just do these basic things, you'll get a lot of results. I haven't done any coaching with Umaisa as such, nothing directly, other than talk to her about it. Ensure the child feels protected during their vulnerability. They know that they're in safe hands, and whatever that is for them, you do that with them. And then if you really want to sort of coach them, you can definitely coach them. That I do know some, I think 2 people that I know who coach children, definitely one person that I know who coach children specifically. I think the other person coaches children around home education more so. And then during the day, give them a lot of their love languages, with them, so that they feel full emotionally, so that if they do feel a little bit of scaredness or fearful, tiny bit, it will just bounce off them at that time, because they're looking at you to fill up their emotional glass until they can do it themselves. So that's like 4 or 5 steps there you can take as you want. And I hope this was useful. If it is, definitely let me know in the comment section if there's anything that I haven't covered as well. I can definitely find out or get you in touch with somebody who does coach children if you do need to go more onto this. I will catch you in the next video, and bye for now.